There's an interesting trend on a lot of YouTube gun videos, and I want to talk about this trend because it puzzles me a little bit. Because common sense dictates that honestly this trend shouldn't be happening if people were using common sense. Now, what you have in front of you is a well-made handgun. It's a little bit pricey. This one's custom, it has some custom parts to it. Very nice handgun. Whenever you see a video with a handgun such as this, or it could be a lot of other different configurations, but basically it's an expensive handgun or a firearm. Doesn't matter if it's rifle, shotgun, you can insert whatever you want into this scenario. But you have an expensive firearm and the person in the video is shooting it. If there is a malfunction at all in that video, whether it's failure to eject, failure to feed, limp wristing, whatever, failure for the slide to lock back on the last shot, it doesn't matter. You get a lot of comments such as, hey, it's built to tight tolerances, it has to break in, you have to shoot 500 rounds through it to break in, you got to clean it more, or use better ammo, or don't limp wrist it, get a little bit better training. There's a lot of different comments to that effect. And the more expensive a handgun is, the more you see those type of comments. But all you have to do is change one small thing and the whole equation is different. Remove the expensive handgun and put a real inexpensive handgun in its place. Every time you see videos of people shooting guns like this or other similar priced firearms, whether they be Cobra, Jimenez, or maybe even some budget Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Taurus, insert whatever budget brand you want. But whenever you see a video of somebody shooting this type of gun, a real budget handgun or rifle or shotgun, and it has the slightest malfunction, you get a lot of comments such as, wow, that gun sucks, buy a Glock, buy a 1911, they're pieces of crap, they fail, they don't work, they blow up in your hand, and the list just goes on and on. And that baffles me. The reason it baffles me is because of this. You stick these two handguns side by side, and we're just using handguns for the purpose of this video. Rifles, shotguns, doesn't matter. Virtually any product you can kind of put this scenario towards. Which of these two handguns would you hold to a higher standard? A $150 rig or an $800 rig? Me personally, common sense tells me I'm going to hold the $800 rig to a higher standard. And in the case of a handgun, I'm talking longevity, reliability, firepower, accuracy, ease of takedown, aftermarket, all that good stuff. I'm going to hold the $800 gun to a higher standard. That doesn't mean I'm going to have no standards for a lower end gun. I still want the lower end gun to work. It still has to function, otherwise it's just a waste of money. But for some reason, when you look at a lot of the gun videos on YouTube, the people hold this to a higher standard. And I can't figure out why. They have no problems trying to compare this to this and saying, well, compared to a 1911, and High Point sucks. Well, duh. You're trying to compare a $150 gun to an $800 gun. It just doesn't work. Two totally different worlds. And you would think people would almost be more lenient to a less expensive gun hiccuping a few times and maybe having a little bit more of a break-in period because of, less quality machine work, a little bit more grittiness in the internals, versus a higher end gun that has a lot better machine work and should work right out of the box. Another example of this is take Kimber. Kimber, I don't think they have this problem anymore, but for a while they had a problem with their barrels rusting. Literally rusting on their 1911s. I encountered this myself. I purchased a Kimber, and it was a nice Kimber, basic model 1911, beautiful gun, sharp lines, I really liked it, and it shot well. It was accurate, nice and smooth. I didn't really encounter any malfunctions with it, which surprised me, because everybody says Kimbers You usually got to break them in. But the Kimber ran great. I bought it, immediately took it out to the range, fired a few rounds through it, was pleased, took it home, thoroughly cleaned it, put it in my case. And then a few days later, I took it out and the barrel had rust all over it. To me, that's an instant fail because it's a higher price 1911, and if it rusts like that in an indoors dry setting, then to me that's an instant fail. In fact, I got rid of that gun immediately. I wanted no part of it at all. But a lot of people out there say, oh, well, just do this, just do that, you know, wipe the rust off and put some coating on it and, you know, maybe clean it a little bit more. And they think of excuses to make up for the fact that, well, no, it is an extreme fail. That expensive gun is a fail. Any gun that costs $800, $900, $1,000 and it rusts right off the bat is just a total fail, in my opinion. In fact, this gun hardly ever rusts, except for a few key places. But if we switched the guns and it was a high point that rusted, then people would immediately get on there and go, see, that's why it only costs $100 or so. It sucks, it sucks, it sucks, it's crap. They should stop making guns. If you buy one, you're an idiot or you're a noob or whatever. So the whole point of this video is pretty much for you guys to think about things a little bit when you're leaving comments and to think about how you grade firearms and what your expectations of firearms are. Because it's easy to get on board with a lot of the crowd when something like this hiccups a little bit. It's easy to say, oh yeah, it's a piece of crap. Look at it. It's just ugly and gross and it's junk. When in reality, you should be holding this to a higher standard. Because it costs a hell of a lot more. There's a lot more machine work in it. And it should work right out of the box. So alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's enough rambling out of me. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you have your own comments or video responses, feel free to put them up. As always, stay safe, stay secure, and stay armed.